Good afternoon friends. In last lecture I have discussed the growth requirement of fungi and the classification of fungi and the morphology of fungi. Today we will see the next part of our syllabus, that is nutrition of fungi. In that first, all fungi are the chemoheterotropics. It means the chemoorganotrophic. It means what? That is, it synthesizing the organic compound as per their need for growth and the energy from pre-existing organic sources in their environment and using the energy from the chemical reactions. That is nothing but the chemoheterotropic. Yes, I am repeating here what I am saying. All the fungi are chemoheterotropics or the chemoorganotropics, synthesizing their organic compound they need for, it requires for, or it needed for, or the essential for growth and energy from pre-existing organic sources in their environment using the energy from chemical reaction. Then second, since their protoplasm is protected by, since it means as they are chemoheterotropic, since their protoplasm is protected by rigid wall, then fungi must obtain their nutrients by the process of absorption. Then the small molecules, for example simple sugar, amino acid in solution, can be absorbed directly across the fungal wall and the plasma membrane. Then the larger complex, yes, first what I am saying, the larger molecule, smaller molecule, that is simple sugar amino acid in solution, it can be absorbed directly across the fungal wall and the plasma membrane. Then second thing, the larger molecules or the larger complex molecule, for example polymers such as polysaccharides and protein, must be first broken down into the smaller molecule and then can be absorbed. Then this degradation takes place outside the fungal cell or the HEPA, and it is achieved by the enzymes which are either released through or are bound to the fungal walls. This degradation takes place outside the fungal cell or the HEPA, and it is achieved by enzymes which are either released through or are bound to the fungal walls, because these enzymes act outside the cell and it is called as extracellular enzymes. Next, since the water is essential for the diffusion of, therefore the water is essential for the diffusion of extracellular enzymes and the nutrients across the fungal wall and the plasma membrane. Actively, the growing fungi are usually restricted to relatively moist or the humid environment. From the point of view of their nutrition, the fungi may be classified as a first, that is saprophyte, first classification saprophyte, then second parasite, then next symbionts, then predaceous fungi. So these we will see one by one. In metabolism of fungi, first the digestive enzyme excreted from the fungus, then enzyme breakdown substrate, that is wood, skin, etc. Then food is digested by the enzyme and digested food eaten by the fungus. Here we can see the image of this. Then we will see one by one. First, saprophytes. The saprophyte fungi live on dead organic material. Yes, these fungi are live on dead organic materials produced by the decay of animal and the plant tissues. Yes, these saprophytic fungi are live on dead organic materials produced by the decay of animal and the plant tissues. Then they grow upon the dead organic matters such as rotten fruits, then rotten vegetables, moist wood, moist leather, jam, jellies, pickles, cheese, then rotting leaves, then plant debris, horse dung, vinegar, then moist bread, then many other possible dead organic material. Then we will see the examples of saprophytic fungi. For example, saprolegnia, then mucor, rhizopus, penicillium, morchella, then aspergillus, then agaricus. These are the few examples of saprophytic fungi. Then the saprophytic fungi absorb their food from substratum by ordinary vegetative hyphae and which penetrate the substratum. And these facultative saprophytes are the fungi are mainly parasitic but can live a saprophyte also. For example, smooth fungi. Then next, that is parasites. The parasitic fungi absorb their food material from the living tissues. The parasitic fungi absorb their food material from the living tissues of the host on which they parasite. Then such parasitic fungi are quite harmful to their host. It may cause the serious diseases, and this fungi causes a great loss to the human being directly or indirectly. Then many diseases of important crops are caused by the parasitic fungi. Then the rust, burns, mildews and other plant diseases are the example of fungal diseases of crop. Then the mode of life is parasitic and the relation of the host and parasite is called as parasitism. Yes, so what is obligate parasite? These are the fungi, or these fungi require a living host for their completion of their life cycle. For example, rust fungi, and these are also known as biotrophs. And next, that is facultative parasites. These are the fungi, or this fungi leads to saprophytic life, but when they come in contact with host, they are capable of parasitizing. For example, Pythium. Then next, that is symbionts. The two living things may live in association with one another. However, they are helpful to each other. For example, lichen and mycorrhizae. Then lichen is an association of alga and fungus, where the algal partner synthesize the organic food and the fungal partner responsible for the absorption of inorganic nutrients and the water. It means in symbiont there is two living things. It is in association. It is in association with each other, with one another. Then the mycorrhizum, it mean fungus root, where certain fungi are grown within plant root. Next, that is predaceous fungi. There are many animals trapping the fungi, which have developed ingenious mechanism for capturing the small animals such as earthworm, rotifers or protozoa, which they use for food. Then the several species of fungi in genera Arthropods, then Dactylaria are employed this method. Then the fungi require also carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, sulfur, and also the minor elements iron, zinc, copper, manganese, or molybdenum. Or some fungi also require the vitamins, especially thiamine or the biotin. Yes, especially which vitamin? That is thiamine or the biotin. So this is the nutrition of fungi. So what are they classified? That is first saprophyte, then next that is First, saprophytes, second, parasites, third, symbiotes, and fourth, predaceous fungi. Next, that is cultivation of fungi. The most of the fungi grows aerobically on the culture media, on the usual culture media, and having the temperature range that is 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. Fungi grow slowly than the bacteria. Yes, what I am saying, the fungi grow slowly than the bacteria. Then the acidic bacteria that incorporate a relatively high concentration of sugar. The acidic bacteria that incorporate relatively the high concentration of sugar are tolerated by molds but are inhibitory to the many bacteria. Then each fungus has its own specific requirements which may be known experimentally. Then the most of the fungi are able to synthesize vitamins they need. However, the several fungi it may require or need thiamine or the biotin. The both, that is thiamine and biotin, these substances are generally added into the synthetic media. It means some fungi synthesize their own vitamin or some fungi are unable to synthesize. Therefore, these are added into the cultivation media or the synthetic media. When the fungi are cultured in laboratory or on synthetic media, the necessary element may be supplied in the following ways. That is, C supplied in the form of carbohydrates such as glucose or maltose. Sucrose and the soluble starch are utilized by many fungi. Then N may be supplied in the form of NH4. Then N is supplied in the form of NH4 salt or the amino acids. Then the many fungi can utilize NO3 salt. There are well-known media or some well-known medias are used for cultivation of fungi. First, Xapex agar, then potato dextrose agar, and Sabrod dextrose agar, that is capital SDA, and potato dextrose agar, that is capital PDA. Then first, that is we will see one by one. First, Xapex agar, it is used for the subculture of Aspergillus species. Yes, this media is specially used for what? The subculture of Aspergillus species for their differential diagnosis. Then it contains what? It contains sucrose as a source of carbon C source, and nitrate as the role of or the nitrate as a sole source of nitrogen, and useful for the general cultivation of fungi, then yeast and the soil bacteria. Then next media, potato dextrose agar, that is capital PDA. It is relatively rich medium for growing wide range of fungi, and main standard procedure use a specified amount of sterile tartaric acid, that is 10%, to lower the pH of the medium, that is 3.5 plus minus 0.1, for inhibiting the bacterial growth. Then the chloramphenicol acts as a selective agent to inhibit the bacterial overgrowth. The chloramphenicol acts as a selective agent to inhibit the bacterial overgrowth of competing microorganisms from mixed specimens, while permitting the selective isolation of fungi. Then next media, Sabrod dextrose agar, that is capital SDA. The Sabrod dextrose agar is a selective medium and primarily used for the isolation of dermatophytes and other fungi, yeast, Yes, primarily used for isolation of dermatophytes, other fungi and yeast, but can also grow the filamentous bacteria. But can also grow the filamentous bacteria such as Nocardia. The acidic pH of this medium, that is pH about 5.0, inhibit the growth of bacteria but permits the growth of yeast and the most filamentous fungi. The acidic pH of this medium, that is having about pH about 5.0, it inhibits the growth of bacteria but permits the growth of yeast and the most filamentous fungi. The antibacterial agents can also be added into this medium for their antibacterial effect. So this is all about the nutrition as well as the cultivation of fungi. In next lecture we will see the reproduction, replication and the life cycle of fungi.